everyone! I'm sorry it's been so long since my last video, but I promise I didn't forget about you guys. Life just gets really hectic sometimes. I also have over 100 subscribers now, which is really amazing, and I'm totally flattered, so thank you guys so much for your support. I never dreamed that over 100 people, most of them strangers, would be interested in what I had to say, so thanks again, you guys. So today I'm going to do the front bodice with you guys, draping it. This is about halfway done right now. Don't worry, I'm going to take this all out and start from scratch with you guys, but this is pretty much what you're going to have at the end. It'll just be marked up and cut a little bit more. So let's get started. So I've laid out the supplies here just so you can see them. What you're going to need, you're going to need some fabric shears, a pencil, these are fabric pins, your curved ruler and your straight clear ruler, and I have my draping book here. A bunch of people messaged me telling me they got this, which is awesome. And this is the Draping for Apparel Design 2nd edition by Helen Joseph Armstrong. And I am on page 31, which talks about measuring for a front bodice pattern piece. All right, let's get started. All right, before we begin, just a little disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I have graduated design school, but I'm not an industry leader or anything like that. So if you get a job in fashion design or something and someone tells you to drape a different way than I'm telling you right now, definitely go with that. I also drape a little differently than it says in the draping book. It's how I learned to do it in class. But if you want to follow the book because you think that's, a better source, go ahead and do that. That's totally fine. So I've done a little bit just to save time. So I'm going to tell you first how to measure your fabric and how to tear it, and then I'll discuss the few steps I've done here so far. So to get you want a rectangle of fabric, and how you get the measurement is you measure from like the shoulder up here down to the waist of your mannequin if you have one, and you add 4 inches to that. That's how you get the long measurement. And the other measurement, you measure from the middle of the bust across the fullest part of the bust around to the side seam here, and add 4 inches to that. So you'll have a rectangle that is big enough to cover this whole area plus a little extra to work with. And what you're going to want to do is use your fabric shears after you mark the edges of the fabric where you want to tear it. I'm going to put like pictures in a tutorial at the end of this video just to kind of illustrate better what I did. And you want to tear the fabric. I know a lot of you probably haven't done that already, but that's the best way to make sure you get a really nice straight line that isn't like skewed off to the side. But yeah, I will go over all that at the end of the video, so don't feel overwhelmed just yet. So what I've done right now is you make a little fold on the long end of the fabric, and make sure your straighter grain is this way. So the selvage of your fabric, like the little finished end, should, I think I have it over here actually. Yes, I do. So you can just fold over your selvage. I actually don't have an iron, which is ironic, but I just kind of folded it and pinned it, and it seems to be staying pretty well. But if you have an iron, fold it over about 1 inch, I think I have less than 1 inch, and iron it. You can make a nice little flat area. I've labeled this CF for center front, and it goes right along the middle of the mannequin. It will be marked with a seam on like a wolf form, a nice form, which I don't have. And on this one, it's got like the opening in the middle. So I pinned it at the neck, and you want to have most of your extra up at the top like this. And I pinned it once like near the fullest part of the bust, and then I pinned it down by the waist. And this pin right here is just coming over from the center. This is on the bust point, and I guess the best way to think of the bust point is it'd be like the nipple of the dress form. And that's always what I thought it looked like when I was in design school, but it's just like the point of the bust. So like, yeah, it'd be like right here and right there. And I just did a little like cross pin right there. And that shows where your dart is going to go, the fitting fold that makes it fit to the waist. So once you've gotten to this point, let's see, grab a few fabric pins. And what you're gonna wanna do is you just use your hand and you simply smooth the fabric. You're trying to make a 2D piece of fabric, a flat piece, fit to a 3D form. So you just kind of got to mold it with your hand. See here, I'm going to just pin it at the shoulder here. And smooth it down, pin it at the tip of the shoulder. Just continue to smooth it with your hand. Here's around the armhole. Just keep pinning and smoothing. It's actually, I think draping is actually quite easy once you kind of have an idea of what to do. And if you have a professional form, unlike me, it's so much easier because this is hard to get the pins in and everything, and there's just a lot of little things on a professional form that are there to help you with draping. It's an investment I'm definitely going to make when I have money. So then, hope you guys can see this. Kind of just smooth down the side, pin it there. So yeah, I know it just kind of looks like a piece of fabric right now, but just make sure it's smooth along like where the top of the chest is. And it'll have a bunch of extra down here at the bottom, which is where we're gonna make our dart. So once you have the side and the shoulder smooth, take the extra fabric, and I've already have the fold because like I said, I did it before. And just kind of push the extra over and make a fold with it. And once you get a nice little crease, you can just put a pin in it. Add another one. Yeah, just kind of check it out, make sure it looks good. So you've got smooth all through here. So yeah, all things considered, I think it's a really good pattern piece to start with. It's quite simple because you just, you know, smooth it and pin it and one little dart. There's many different ways to do a front bodice piece. You can do the princess line, which is where the seam comes like all the way down like that. You can have a dart on the side here. That would all be covered in your draping book or your flat pattern book, just how to move the darts and such. But this is just a good basic piece. And using this piece, you can turn it into a variety of different bodices. All right. So now you realize we've got like this stuff hanging off up here and over here. So what you do is you're gonna go around and mark everything with a pencil where you want it. I don't know how much time I have left on my camera, so I'm just gonna do this and then come back and show you guys what I did. All right, so what I've done here is I just took a pencil and I kind of sketched in the lines I want. As you can see, they're not very neat. You're gonna clean those up later. Down the shoulder seam right there and around the armhole. And I even like kind of changed it. You can do whatever you want. It can be messy, don't worry about it. Down the side seam. And across at the waist. The waist is the smallest part. For this basic bodice, we're not doing a drop waist or anything like that, which is more like down here. We're just doing like the natural waist, the little part of the body. And even this cheap dress form has the waist mark on it. And you're also going to want to mark the point of the dart. I did a little pencil mark right there, if you can see. And I'm going to use my crease, but you can also put pencil along the edges of the dart so you know exactly where they are when you unpin all this. And if you don't like the way this is bunching up here, or if yours is bunching up worse, just take your shears and cut it to alleviate the stress that's right here on the fabric. All right, now we're gonna unpin it.